What is up? I'm Sergeant Ballistic, but you guys can call me Brian. Thank you for checking out this video. Today I am giving you my first impressions of the Rainbow Six Siege beta. Now, Rainbow Six is a tactical shooter series some of you may be familiar with. Recent previous installments include Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2, which were third person. Siege takes some new and familiar concepts and mixes them together into a first person round based shooter involving a lot of teamwork and communication. As the name suggests, the core gameplay involves one team attacking or sieging utilizing drones to reconnoiter enemy and objective locations, grappling hooks to rappel, and breach charges in order to infiltrate and take out enemies. The defending team digs in by reinforcing walls, blocking entryways, setting explosive / gas traps, razor wire, and so on in order to prevent the attackers from succeeding. But in this beta there are two multiplayer PvP game types, and these are 5v5 TDM secure area and 5v5 TDM bomb. There's also the PvE mode called Terrorist Hunt Classic. I'm going to focus mostly on the PvP game types, as anyone who's played a Rainbow Six game before probably already knows what Terrorist Hunt is. So in TDM secure area, defenders choose a room to defend a biological agent container from the attackers who want to secure the area by standing near the container uncontested for a set amount of time. In TDM bomb, defenders pick a set of locations in which 2 bombs are placed and set up defenses against the attackers. The TDM in both the game type names denotes that killing all of your opponents will win you the round. So teams swap sides for 6 rounds. There's also a possible tiebreaker round, but after all the rounds are done, the team that won the most rounds wins the match. So there are 3 phases to each round. For the attackers, in a planning phase before each round, you pick your attacker choosing between preset builds and customizable operators and vote on your insertion point. Different operators have different weapon and gadget sets, allowing you to complement your style of play and balance out your team. If a person on the team chooses a custom operator, that custom operator becomes unchoosable by anyone else on the team. Next, during the preparation phase, attackers use their recon drones to gather information like bomb and enemy locations, team makeup, gadget fortification locations, etc. During the last phase, which is the action phase, that's where everything goes down, and the attackers have a certain amount of time to complete their objective or kill the entire enemy team. On the other side of things, defenders choose their operators based on weapon sets and gadgets, then select their location to set up during the planning phase. In the preparation phase, they set up their fortification whilst trying to prevent the attackers from learning the location of the objectives by shooting or otherwise disabling their drones. A major utility are these barricades, which can be set up by everyone on the defending side on a number of doorways to try to slow the attackers down or surprise them or lead them into heavy cones of crossfire. These are easily destructible, however, via gunfire or even just by meleeing them. This is also the case for walls, which is kind of cool because you can shoot or pop holes in them in order to find what are sometimes cheap little lines of sight that your opponents might not be expecting. Defenders also have 1 wall reinforcement each, which a lot of people actually don't take advantage of, and these reinforcements make walls impenetrable from gunfire and normal breaching charges. Then during the action phase, the defenders try to defend the objective from the attackers or kill them all to win the round. This actually makes for some really cool meta gameplay where you have to strategically choose your operators, insertion or defense points in order to counter your enemy's choices and tendencies. During gameplay, communication is huge. There's actually no mini-map, so callouts and spots are hugely helpful. I was much more successful playing with a close to full team of friends, talking on Curse or Skype, than rolling solo with randos. Randos equals butt. Only about half your random teammates ever try to communicate with you, and most don't listen to you if you try to do so. They'll just pop around corners, jumping in front of you while you're shooting an enemy, and not only is friendly fire on in this game, but it also costs you points, which is somewhat of a bonus, but still frustrating when you get shot by a teammate or they jump in front of a breaching charge, so communication is definitely key. Gunplay, I gotta say, is definitely faster and looser than I expected, having played other tactical shooters and Rainbow Six shooters in the past. The guns are very accurate, and there's a mega huge bonus for headshots, making them one-shot kills with pretty much every weapon in the game, including the pistols. There are no hit indicators except for a headshot, so you must pay attention to notice enemy blood splatter to have an idea if your shots are landing and what your enemy's current health might be. I don't know, given how tactical the game is made out to be, I expected the gunplay to be a lot more difficult. The recoil is just almost non-existent, and most guns, including the powerful revolvers and shotguns, can be quickly spammed with seemingly no real adverse effects. At first, the headshot bonus seems to make a lot of sense, rewarding people for their accuracy, until you start noticing those moments where you just die in a single frame and you can't tell where the bullet's coming from. That's pretty frustrating. And now we're going to get to kind of the elephant or mountain, as the case may be, in the room, and that's the ballistic shield. No, not a riot shield. Those are used for pushing protesting hippies off the streets. These are supposed to be heavy duty ballistic shields, yet the character models can somehow be seen vaulting over obstacles and rappelling and fast roping and pistoling enemies with little to none of their body exposed. If you choose to aim down the sights, you'll actually move your shield out of the way, leaving you exposed. However, hip fire is so accurate, there isn't much need to aim down the sights. It's extremely frustrating when you feel like you have no way to counter something in a game. If the person with the shield is pretty good, then they're at a huge tactical advantage with the current state of the game. I'm not sure if the shield or pistol hip fire needs to be nerfed, or if some suppression can be added, or if the flinch can be increased from bullet hits on the shield, but it's pretty ridiculous when you can just blast this guy with shotgun shells at 0.0 range and they just swing up and one-shot you with the pistol. I used it, and you do feel pretty godly when you're just walking up on somebody and they're blasting your shield and you don't take any damage, and you can either just spam them with your pistol or aim for that quick headshot and take them out pretty quickly. Now you can flank these guys because they're exposed from behind, and maybe people haven't developed the tactics in order to be able to take them out quickly, but right now they just seem way too overpowered. It wasn't long before I started seeing entire enemy teams ignoring other custom operators and just using shielded operators and shielded default builds. Other than that, as I mentioned, there's some other issues and a lot of matchmaking bugs that need to be improved, but hey, this is a beta and there's a lot more right with this game than wrong, I'm gonna say at this time. The problem is, especially with Ubi's and really the whole industries right now, having a public profession of publishing unpolished games. Say that 4 times fast. Being tactical in nature, this is a fairly hardcore game, which is going to appeal much more to competitive oriented players than casuals, so you're already kind of whittling down some of the persistent player base. The learning curve is pretty steep and there's a lot of depth to the game, so people feel like they're just getting one shot domed every 2 seconds by some seemingly invincible guy, then they're not going to keep playing the game. And you're going to see the player base go the way of Battlefield Hardline, Evolve, and Dirty Bomb. Those games right now, I can hardly find any friends to party up with and play. But like I said, there's a lot this game does well. The cat and mouse aspects, multi-layered strategic and tactical choices can mean the game has a good amount of longevity as players figure out new combinations and permutations of game mechanics. Let's just hope that those outweigh the unpreventable exploits and cheeses that people will undoubtedly also find. So what do you guys think of Rainbow Six Siege during this beta so far? Is this the next great tactical first-person shooter poised to challenge CSGO as the numero uno for competitive play? Will we see a ton of clones coming out similar to this, just like we saw with the MOBA-esque shooters announced recently? How many of you guys have played the beta, and will you be picking this up when it launches? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, let me know what you thought of this video, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let me know if you'd like to see my thoughts on any other shooters or games in general. I will definitely be playing the Battlefront beta when it drops. Might have a little bit of a special event based around that, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you already haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.